What have you seen out of their new guys at quarterback?
Very athletic, runs extremely well. Seems to have a lot of moxie on tape. Seems like he enjoys playing the game. He's flying around, leading them. He's excellent with the ball in his hands. So we know we'll have our work cut out for us.
Right, they ran the football a lot in their first game. Obviously, it's an
Yeah.
FCS opponent, but is that what you expect a lot of running from them?
I do. I think they want to control the ball. Even though they're a high, fast-paced offense, at the end of the day, I think they enjoy running the ball and dominating the line of scrimmage. So our up front guys understand that. We're going to have to be extremely sound, getting lined up quickly so we can execute our defense. But at the end of the day, we understand that they do want to run the football, even though they're going extremely fast.
It's a little change of pace from last week, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, definitely. I think it'll still be the same, go fast, but maybe a little bit more emphasis on, running the ball, play action, taking a shot downfield, those type of things.
Does your defense sort of look forward to the challenge when this team, came out of the gates against, maybe a substandard opponent but scored a lot of points? Does your defense look forward to challenges like that?
Yeah, it gets their attention right away. We don't care who they're playing. At the end of the day, they scored a ton of points, had a ton of offense. So we understand it's going to be a great challenge going down to their place, and having to play in front of their crowds, But at the end of the day, I think our guys are excited about the challenge.
With some of the offensive uncertainty, does that put a little more pressure on the defense at all, or are you guys just taking care of what you can?
Yeah, and that's it. We understand our offense will be ready to go. They'll do what they do, and we got to go out there and do our jobs. That's the bottom line. We're just really concerned with what we can do to help this team win.
What do you think of the play of some of the younger guys in the secondary? Ernest Thomas, last week, how was it to see them break out?
It was great. It was great. Those guys have worked extremely hard, and we tell everybody on our defense, you got to be ready to go when your name is called, and for the most part, those guys were ready, At no point did we think they played a great game, but we understand that their best football is ahead of them, expecting them to play even better this week.
Do you expect to get Steve Hull in this week?
I beg your pardon?
Steve Hull, do you expect him to get in at all this week? Or?
Yeah, I do. I expect him to be ready to roll. I expected him to be ready to roll last week. So yeah, he's been practicing. He's practicing well. So we'll see what happens.
Coach Beckman, I think, gave the defense a B against Western Michigan. Is that the same grade you gave? You just mentioned that. How far along do you think they are? How much better can this defense be?
We got a long way to go. We really do. Every day, our number one goal is just to get better. And I know that may sound cliche, but that's the reality of it. We're still installing. Those guys are still, trying to make sure they know exactly what we want. But at the end of the day, we just want to play well enough to win the game. That's all we're concerned with.
I know it's a dry heat, but it's supposed to be pretty hot out there. How do you guys deal with that?
Well, we try not to worry about it, to be honest with you. We worry about what we can control, and that's getting enough rest, hydrating, just doing the things that we need to do to prepare, and that's taking care of our bodies, getting enough rest, and putting the right things in there.